good to be back. It is good to be back. I must talk about you, well, good, in front of your face. Otherwise, I was going to do it behind your back. In Maria Teresa, I know we all know, because so many of us have been working with her for so many years. We have an extraordinary leader. You bring such fight, such intelligence, such perspective, and joy. You know, I believe that we should all be joyful warriors. And you just have been a great friend to me on a personal level and as Vice President and to the President. Can we please give it up for Maria Teresa? Thank you. So this is my third trip back to Nevada in the last 2 months. And my 11th trip as Vice President. And it is so good to be with the incredible leaders who are here. And I want to thank you all for coming out on a Saturday afternoon for us to be together. I want to thank my dear friend, Senator Catherine Cortez Masto, who is here. As many of you know, Catherine and I served together as Attorneys General. She of Nevada, I was California. And then we served together in the United States Senate. And she is a fighter. She is so committed. She loves this state. She loves the people of this state. And of course, and she is also the first and only Latina to have served in the United States Senate. A trailblazer. And to my friend, Congressman Stephen Horsford, I thank you for all that you do and all that you are. He is also the chair of the Congressional Black Caucus, and he is a powerful fighter for justice and for the people of this state. Thank you, Stephen. Thank you. And to our state party chairwoman, Danielle Monroe Moreno, for all you do. She and I had a chance to check in backstage, and she was telling me what she needs for this state, and I was listening. So today, I have to say, in addition to being with all the dear friends, I am so honored on behalf of the President and myself to accept the endorsement of Voto Latino. Truly. And we have also today received the endorsement of Latino Victory, a PI Victory Fund, and Collective PAC. So it's a very important day. And it is also an honor to be joined by the workers of Culinary 226, who endorsed our campaign last year with Unite Here and just won their largest pay raise in history. And on that point, to NSEA and CCEA and all the workers who are here with us, congratulations on winning your own historic pay raise last year. And to everyone, thank you for your longstanding support. So, I've known many of you for a very long time, and most of you therefore know a lot about my background, including that my mother arrived in the United States at the age of 19 years old by herself, never having been to America. And my mother had two goals in her life: to raise her two daughters, my sister Maya and me, and to end breast cancer. She was a breast cancer researcher. And I could talk all afternoon long about who my mother was and what she means to me. But I will tell you, because of the fact that my mother never asked anyone for permission to pursue her dreams, never. She was a proud woman, all 5 feet of her. Although if you met her, you'd have thought she was 7 feet tall. But it is because of the nature and the character and the strength and determination of my mother that within one generation, I stand before you as Vice President of the United States. And so, like so many of the leaders in this room, my mother raised my sister and me to understand the value of hard work, the importance of community, and the responsibility that we each have to each other to serve in the greater good, and to have some level of concern and care about the suffering and well-being of other people, and then take it upon ourselves to do something about it. And with your support, then, that is what President Joe Biden and I have been doing. Because in 2020, you told us we must do something. Okay, everyone has a chance to speak, but right now I'm speaking. Right now I'm speaking. Okay, thank you. We must do something to lower health care costs. You told us that in 2020, especially for insulin for our seniors. For far too many years, too many of our seniors had to make the choice between either filling their prescription or filling their refrigerator. And Latinos, of course, are 70% more likely to be diagnosed with diabetes. It is because you organized and voted in 2020 that President and I have finally capped the cost of insulin at $35 a month for our seniors. And I'd ask anyone here, raise your hand if you have a family member or a friend, someone you know and love who has diabetes. Look at this. And what then that has meant in the lives of so many people. And we capped the entire cost of prescription medication for seniors to $2,000 a year. Again, understanding that our seniors should not have to make those kinds of choices between food and a prescription medication that a doctor said will save their life. And I will tell you, when we win re-election, we are going to cap the cost of prescription medication and insulin, not only for our seniors, but for everyone. In 2020, you said we must do more to help folks struggling with student loan debt. And because you voted, President Biden and I canceled nearly $138 billion in student loan debt for almost 4 million Americans, on average of more than $30,000 per person. And for public servants like our firefighters and our teachers, the average is double that. Take Tilly Torres, who is here. Tilly is an English teacher here in Las Vegas. Hi, Tilly. And 35 years after graduating college, she still had $87,000 in student loan debt. And she thought that she would have that debt for the rest of her life. But because of what President Biden and I have been able to do on student loan debt, all of her debt has been forgiven. And I just want to say something about you, Tilly, and what I know about our teachers. Think about it. So now we know something that she was dealing with privately, which is $87,000 of debt. And here's the thing about the nature and character of who people are. She didn't stop teaching when she could have got a job that paid more. Because that's some of the most noble work anyone could choose to do, which is educate other people's children, and you don't get paid enough to do it in the first place. So thank you, Tilly. In 2020, folks said we need to take on the issue of gun violence. That gun violence is now the #1 killer of our children. Can you believe that? That 1 in 5 Americans has a family member who has been killed by gun violence. That Latinos are twice as likely to be the victims of gun homicide. So to keep our communities safe, we strengthened background checks and passed the first, thank you to the Congress members who are here, strengthened background checks and passed the first major gun safety law in nearly 30 years. And in my leadership, as the head of the first White House Office on Gun Violence Prevention, and in the memory of 1 October and all those that we have lost, We will and I will continue to work with our state and federal leaders, our local leaders, to continue the fight for an assault weapons ban, background checks, and red flag laws. And we will not stop. Nevada, in 2020, you said our immigration system has been broken for years and it must be fixed. And President Biden and I are fighting to secure a pathway for citizenship, including for our dreamers and their families, to expand legal pathways for migration and make our immigration system more humane and orderly. Earlier this year, we helped lead a strong bipartisan border security bill, but the Republican leadership in Congress will not put it up for a vote because Donald Trump told them not to. It is clear we want to fix this problem, but the former president wants to run on it because he ain't got nothing else to run on. And we all know when it comes to immigration, as Maria Teresa said, his policies, man, cruel and ineffective. He separated families. He tried to end DACA. And I'll tell you, many times over the years, I have worked with dreamers about how we can protect their future. And while the former president was in office, I witnessed, as I know we all did, some of the most harrowing and heartbreaking experiences that our dreamers, our young people were having. Fear that there might be a knock on the door, that they may be made to leave their home, fear that a parent might not come home at night, fear to go to a hospital if they needed care, or to report something to the police for fear that they would be deported. Young people who otherwise have been serving in our military, working in Fortune 500 companies, contributing to the productivity and the strength of our country. And now the former president has vowed he will deport millions of people if he is reelected. So President Biden and I are guided by a fundamental belief. We work for you, the American people. And every day we fight for you. Former President Trump has made it clear time and time again, his fight is not for the people. He fights for himself. He openly talks about his intention to weaponize the Department of Justice against his enemies. He openly talks that he is, quote, proud that he overturned Roe v. Wade, proud that he took the freedom of choice from millions of women and people around America, proud that young women today have fewer rights than their mothers and grandmothers. He openly talks about his admiration for dictators. He has vowed he will be a dictator on day one. You know, the great Maya Angelou once said, when someone tells you who they are, believe them the first time. Well, the former president has told us who he is, and it is on us, then, to recognize the profound threat he poses to our democracy and our freedoms. And let us also recognize that there are extremists around the country who have been elected people, who have been incited, encouraged, even cowered by the former president. In this moment, just look at states across our country where we witness a full-on attack on hard-fought, hard-won fundamental freedoms and rights. The freedom to vote, the freedom to be safe from the horror of gun violence, the freedom to be who you are and love who you love openly and with pride. The freedom of a woman to make decisions about her own body and not have her government telling her what to do. on that point, I know we all are clear. One does not have to abandon their faith or deeply held beliefs to agree. The government should not be telling her what to do. The government should not be telling her what to do. Attacks on fundamental freedoms, that's what we're looking at. And understand, in our fight, as we do, it doesn't have to be this way. It doesn't. I say that in particular to the young leaders who are here. It doesn't have to be this way. And as President Biden made clear at the State of the Union, when we win majorities in the United States Congress, and when Congress passes a bill that reinstates the protections of Roe v. Wade, Joe Biden will sign it. As he made clear, we will also raise the federal minimum wage. We will secure a pathway to citizenship, including for dreamers and families. We will invest in affordable housing, affordable child care, and paid family leave. And the bottom line is that in this election, I think we all face a question. And that question is, what kind of country do we want to live in? Do we want to live in a country of liberty, freedom, and rule of law, or a country of disorder, fear, and hate? Each of us has the power to answer that question at the ballot box. So in conclusion, President Biden and I are counting on you. And Nevada, then I ask, are you ready to make your voices heard? Do we believe in democracy? Do we believe in opportunity? Do we believe in freedom? Are we ready to fight for it? And when we fight, we win. May God bless you. God bless America.